progressive prosecutors are a menace to the cities, to the whole country, really, but to the cities where they are the ones in charge of the criminal justice system. They're really the top of the criminal justice pyramid. They have made everything substantially worse. Name a city: New York, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Chicago, Houston, Los Angeles, San Francisco, progressive prosecutors in all of them. And what is the basis of their whole approach? Let's just not prosecute crimes as much. Let's actually let people out of prison. Let's make crime less illegal, or maybe just make crime legal altogether. And this has disastrous results. Most recently, in the case of Gascón in Los Angeles, there were 2 law enforcement officers who were killed in El Monte, California. Corporal Michael Paredes and Officer Joseph Santana were both killed in the line of duty. Now, they were dealing with a situation, and the situation is that a gang member who actually had a gang affiliation tattooed on his face had stabbed his girlfriend and had found and was trying to further assault and terrorize his girlfriend. And the police officers arrived on the scene. There was a shootout. Here's a tweet from Fox's Bill Malugin. Per sources, the gang member who fatally shot 2 El Monte PD officers last night was on probation for being a felon with a firearm after he received a bare minimum sentence in a plea deal under LA District Attorney George Gascón last year, despite having a previous strike on his record. Now, let's unpack this for a second, because this is really important. This gang member was on his 3rd arrest. Now, he'd already had a burglary charge, drug charges. His 3rd arrest was for being a previously convicted felon in possession of a firearm. Now, his possession of that firearm was illegal. He's a felon in possession of a firearm, which is supposed to come with a mandatory sentence. It's actually illegal under federal law as well as state law in California. But in this case, the district attorney decided that instead of giving the 2 to 3 year sentence that this would usually call for, he gave him probation. That's right, a gang member with the gang tattooed on his face who had engaged in criminal activity, was on his 3rd strike, and should have been sentenced under a 3rd strike law in California, was given 2 years of probation. Now, what Gascón did, the DA, has actually been declared, meaning ignoring the 3 strikes rule that is state law in California, has actually been declared illegal, meaning that the DA wasn't even allowed to use his discretion the way he did under the law in this circumstance. But because he is so devoted to letting bad people get away with doing bad things, we now have 2 officers who are dead. Ted Cruz tweeted out that Officers Paredes and Santana gave their lives in the service of their fellow citizens. It is outrageous the murderer was not in jail due to the reckless actions of George Gascón, a radical, soft on crime, Soros-backed DA. Now let's just go back to even a year ago. George Gascón, the district attorney in Los Angeles, was still trying to defend this kind of conduct. Here he is saying that tough on crime policies have not made anyone safer. That was his claim a year ago. Watch.
For the first time in generations, communities are turning away from the quote-unquote tough on crime ideas because they're finally coming to realize that the last 4 decades have not made us any safer.
Well, he's wrong, and the data has shown that he's what he said was effectively a lie. I mean, he can't really be that stupid. Is it possible to be that stupid?